This artifact is a bronze axe. It was made around 200 to 1,000 years ago. Bronze axes were used as tools for cutting wood and were also used as weapons, but mainly for harvesting and cutting wood. These axes were made by Dongsong craftsmen. It's molded into the axe shape using clay or sand, then laid flat to dry. Once it's dry and hardened, then it's covered in molten bronze. Other objects craftsmen made during the Bronze Age were artifacts like spears, arrowheads, blades, and knives, but also wood-cutting tools like axes, rice cutters, plow blades, and many more. This artifact comes from the Dongsong period, which is part of the Bronze Age. The Dongsong period was made up of many ethnic groups, but 85% of the Dongsong period was made up of mostly the Kin and Viet people. Kin and Viet people shared their knowledge about farming, cattle, and harvesting with other cultures in the Red River Delta. Most of these ethnic minorities came from China, Indonesia, and Vietnam. The Dongsong culture was mainly located in northern Vietnam, especially the Red River Delta. It started in 400 BC and ended in 100 AD. Most of the artifacts were found in flooded rice fields and houses, depending on the weather during these times. The Red River Delta is made up of paddy fields of rice, plantations, farms, marsh, and mountains. All 54 ethnic groups are still around Vietnam, but some of the objects and way of making these artifact types have changed a lot. For example, the modern axes are normally made in factories, not really done by hand anymore, or made with certain materials like bronze. People in other cultures like the Kin people still use the same method of making these kinds of artifacts today, even though it's not common throughout Vietnam cities. In some cultures, it's intangible since it's been continued since 400 BC, and making axes, even other weapons and artifacts, are used for everyday things like harvesting or wood cutting, which is crucial for some ethnic minorities to survive. An artifact that this connects to is the bronze spoons, which was also made during the Dongsong period, as in during the Bronze Age. It was also made using a similar process like the axe, but not as complicated. Like I said before, there are many artifacts that have been made during the Bronze Age, and not only during the Dongsong period or in the Red River Delta, but across many ethnic groups and locations. In my own culture, which is Sri Lanka, statues are made from bronze of gods and goddesses for certain religions like Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, and others. Temples and other places to pray and worship have many different, not only statues, but artifacts like memorial plates, the architecture that is sometimes cast in bronze and other materials. In Sri Lanka, there are also a couple of ethnic groups and tribes outside the city. If you want to learn more about the Dongsong period or the Bronze Age, you can look at more of the related artifacts like this from the same time period.